Sponsored by... Stop before you dig. Call Digger's Hotline first. Call 3 business days before you dig. It's the law. It's completely free and it's for your safety. Know what's below before you dig. It's your responsibility. Call Digger's Hotline or visit them at diggershotline.com. A lot of times we see things on social media and we just assume that it's truth. But as we know from commercials, that not everything on the internet is true. But we've found 3 things that we have implemented in our garden that has worked. Things we've seen on social media, other gardeners, as well as a little added tweaks that we have implemented from our own experience. So we're going to talk about those 3 things so you can implement them in your garden this year or remember them for next year. One being this cardboard mulch. Now, the bed that I'm standing in is identical to the bed that has got the turnips in. This bed was left fallow because I wanted all of our straw bale garden vines of the melons and the winter squashes to grow over on this side, which they were beginning to do, and this had a lot of weeds coming up in it. So 2 months ago, we went ahead and weed whacked this down on a straight to the point and laid 1 to 2, sometimes 3 layers of cardboard in this area. Behind me, we ran out of cardboard, and you can see what it looks like with the foxtail and the thistles growing naturally. Well, this had worked very, very well. The only weeds that have come up is through the cracks that weren't sealed or overlayered. Works phenomenal. We will definitely do this again in next year when it comes to growing vines. We do have some parsley coming up here from last year, coming up through a crack. We got some vine here, but nothing compared to what it would have looked like as it does behind me. Cardboard mulch works great. Now, some of you may be concerned about the glue and the toxicity of all that, but that's a decision that you have to make for your particular garden. Now let's look at the second thing that has worked very, very well for us that we've had some feedback on that may not work for you. The second thing that has worked for us very well is incorporating bird seed in tin cans in amongst our tomatoes. We were having a very difficult problem tracking down the tomato hornworm that was eating tomatoes on a very rapid pace in our garden here. So what we did, we took several fence posts, or several wooden posts, put tin cans on them, poked some holes in the bottom for drainage, and filled it with bird seed. And the birds have just loved it. We've had to refill this multiple times. And since we have implemented this in our garden, in the 2 months that we've done it, I think we've had 1 tomato that has been indicated it has been eaten by, been nibbled on by the hornworm. We were getting 5 or 6 a week that were being damaged. So incredible change. Now, the feedback we've gotten from some viewers is, well, the birds, you want to keep birds out of your tomato patch because they're going to peck holes in your tomatoes. Well, birds do peck holes in tomatoes. They are pecking holes in tomatoes because they are needing moisture. The birds are thirsty, so they're looking for water. So one way you can combat that is incorporate a bird bath in amongst your garden. That will, number one, bring in, allow the birds to have something to drink as well as other beneficial insects. But 2, it will also prevent the birds from pecking holes or slowing the hole pecking down in your tomatoes. What you can also do early in the season to prevent that is hang plastic red Christmas balls on your tomato cages to mimic red ripe tomatoes, and the birds will peck that and go elsewhere. But if you just provide them with water, or we've had a lot of rain here and we've never yet this year have experienced holes being pecked in our tomatoes via birds. So we've got 3 different placing of the bird seed in the tin cans, and it has worked phenomenal. We've never had, the hornworms have disappeared because the birds come in, they'll feed off the bird seed, they'll notice worms moving around, and birds feed in the early morning and late at night, so does the hornworm, and we believe that is what has been eliminating the damage to eliminating the hornworms, which are damaging our tomatoes. The third thing that has worked very, very well for us is we implemented in the front yard garden. We placed party cups in the ground 1 inch above ground level because we were having a massive amount of problem with slugs. We put beer into the cups, and even with torrential downpours, the beer that emits the hop smell attracted the slugs, and the cup is just overflowing with dead slugs. So if you have problems with slugs, use a beer that will attract them into your garden, or attract them to the cup, and then they won't eat the produce that you're trying to grow. So 3 things that we have found, we have implemented, and have worked in our garden.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.